Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Mark Buzz, and today we're diving into something you probably don't think about too much: fleas. Specifically, fleas in your car.
Yeah, not exactly a fun road trip topic.
Right, but it happens. Luckily, we have Anna Bugs here who knows a thing or two about these little guys.
Well, I wouldn't say I like them, but I do know how to get rid of them. It's a pretty common problem, especially if you've got pets.
So let's start there. What is it about cars that makes them so appealing to fleas?
Well, think about it. Your car's warm, it's dark, and there's tons of little hiding spots for them to lay eggs.
Plus, it's like a little safe haven from the elements, right?
Exactly. Protected from the rain and everything. Perfect flea environment, really.
So it's like a little flea vacation spot on wheels. But how do they even get there in the first place? Do they just magically appear?
Not magic, no. They're just really good hitchhikers.
Hitchhikers.
I mean, they can jump super far for their size, so they can easily latch onto your pet's fur, your clothes, or even like bags that have been near an infested area.
Ah, I see. So once they're in, they just make themselves at home.
Pretty much. And they start multiplying fast.
So if you see one flea, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag. A single female flea can lay like 50 eggs every single day.
Wow, 50 a day. That's a lot of fleas.
It is. So what starts as a small problem can quickly turn into a full-blown infestation. You really got to act fast.
Okay, so let's talk about getting rid of them. This deep dive is brought to you by Simple Pest Management, and they have some awesome advice on how to get those fleas out of your car. And while you're at it, give us a follow on it, like if you enjoy this kind of deep dive.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
Oh, and by the way, make sure to follow Simple Pest Management on social media for even more tips.
So the first thing you got to do is anything you can remove from your car, like floor mats or seat covers, wash those in the hottest water the fabric can handle, and then dry them on high heat.
Okay, makes sense. But why the high heat? Is it really that important?
Totally. Heat kills fleas in all stages of life, from eggs to adults. It's the best way to make sure you're really getting rid of the infestation.
So we're basically giving them a heat wave they can survive.
Exactly. Then you got to break out the vacuum cleaner.
Just a quick once-over, right?
Oh, no. I'm talking a deep clean. Under the seats, every nook and cranny. You don't want to miss a single spot.
Vacuum like you mean it.
Yeah. It's not just about sucking up the adult fleas you can see either. It's also about getting those eggs and, well, what we call flea dirt.
Flea dirt?
It's basically flea droppings.
Oh, okay. Not the most pleasant thing to think about.
No, not really, but getting rid of it is super important. And vacuuming also disrupts the flea pupas, which are kind of like their cocoons.
So we're stopping them before they even have a chance to become full-grown fleas.
That's the idea. You're breaking the cycle.
Okay, so we've washed the fabrics, we've vacuumed like crazy. What's next?
Time for flea spray.
This is any flea spray will do.
No, make sure it's specifically designed for cars and approved by the EPA. And look for one with what's called an insect growth regulator, or IGR.
An IGR. What's that do?
It prevents the flea larvae and eggs from developing into adults. It's kind of like a long-term prevention measure.
So it's not just about killing the current fleas, it's about making sure they don't come back. Smart.
Right. And remember, always be safe and follow the directions on the label, especially if you have pets in your car.
Good point. Safety first.
Always. So we've got heat, vacuuming, and flea spray. That's a good start.
That sounds like a pretty solid plan to me.
It is, but there's more to the battle than just treating the car.
Wait, seriously, there's more.
Oh yeah, remember, your car is just one part of the equation.
I have a feeling you're about to tell me about pets and our homes.
You got it. We have to think about the bigger picture. That's what we call a holistic approach to flea control. But we'll dive into that in part 2.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're still talking about those pesky fleas, and before the break, we learned that getting rid of them means more than just treating your car.
Right. Like I was saying, we have to think holistically. It's not just the car, it's your pets in your home, too.
Okay, so let's start with the pets. I mean, they're usually the ones bringing the fleas in the first place, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what's the best way to make sure our furry friends aren't walking flea magnets?
Well, there are tons of flea treatments out there. You've got collars, topical treatments like those spot-on drops, and even oral medications.
So many options. How do you know which one to choose?
It really depends on your pet. Like, how old are they? What breed? Do they have any health issues?
Ah, so it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly. That's why it's always best to talk to your vet.
They'll know what's best for your furry friend.
Absolutely. They can recommend the right treatment and make sure it's safe for your pet. Oh, and don't forget about their bedding.
Their bedding.
Yeah, just like those car mats and seat covers, you got to wash their bedding regularly in hot water. Get rid of any fleas or eggs that might be hiding there.
Got it. No flea safe havens anywhere. So we've tackled the pets. What about our homes? How do we keep those from becoming flea fortresses?
Well, regular vacuuming is your best friend here, especially in areas where your pet hangs out a lot.
So like the rug my cat loves to sleep on.
Exactly. Carpets and rugs are flea hotspots.
Okay, so lots of vacuuming. Anything else?
And don't just do a quick surface clean. You got to get deep into those fibers, the corners, under furniture, everywhere.
Vacuum like you mean it.
Yep. You might even want to consider a flea spray for your home if it's a really bad infestation.
Flea spray for the house.
Yeah, but just like with the car, make sure you get one that's EPA approved and safe for your family and pets. Read those labels carefully.
Always good advice. So we've got the pets covered. The house is under control. Is there anything else we can do?
Well, there are a few extra tricks you can try. Did you know that fleas are attracted to light and warmth?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you can actually use that to your advantage. Like you can make a DIY flea trap with just a dish of soapy water and a light source, like a nightlight.
How does that work?
Well, the fleas are attracted to the light, they jump in, and, well, soap is deadly to them. It's a simple but pretty effective way to catch those stragglers.
That's clever. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, it's a good one. But if you're dealing with a really stubborn infestation and nothing seems to work, there's no shame in calling in the professionals.
You mean like an exterminator?
Well, more like a pest control company. Someone like our sponsor, Simple Pest Management. They have the knowledge and the tools to really tackle those tough infestations.
They're like the flea-fighting superheroes.
Exactly. They can assess your situation, create a customized plan, and get rid of those fleas for good.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed or those fleas just won't go away, don't give up. There's help out there. Okay, we've talked about a lot. Treating our pets, keeping our homes clean, DIY traps, and calling in the pros when needed. But before we wrap up this flea-fighting adventure, I've got one more question.
Okay, shoot.
Why are flea bites so itchy? What is it about their saliva that makes us want to scratch like crazy?
Ooh, good question. It's actually the chemicals in their saliva that cause the itch.
Chemicals.
Yeah, when a flea bites, it injects this saliva into your skin. It's got stuff in it to stop your blood from clotting and to help them digest it.
So it's not just a bite, it's like a chemical attack.
Pretty much. And our bodies see those chemicals as invaders and trigger an immune response.
Hence the itching redness.
Exactly. It's our body trying to fight back.
Makes sense, but I could definitely do without the itching.
I think we all could. But that just shows how important it is to prevent flea infestations in the first place.
Right, because nobody wants to be a scratching post for those little guys.
Exactly.
So remember, folks, be proactive. Treat your pets, keep your home clean, and don't be afraid to call in the experts if you need to. We can win this flea war.
We can.
And in part 3, we'll wrap up with some final thoughts on these tiny but mighty creatures and the most important takeaways from our deep dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking all about fleas, probably more than you ever wanted to know.
But hey, knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. And understanding these little guys can save us a lot of trouble in the long run. We've covered a lot today, from what fleas are to how they live to how to get rid of them.
We even talked about why their bites are so darn itchy.
Yeah, it's all thanks to those chemicals in their saliva. Our bodies just don't like them.
Nope, they sure don't.
But before we wrap up, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Simple Pest Management. They've been awesome, really helping us understand this whole flea situation.
Yeah, they're the real flea experts.
And if you're dealing with a flea infestation that just won't quit, they're the ones to call.
For sure, they've got the experience and the tools to handle even the toughest cases.
So don't hesitate to reach out to them if you need help. They're the pros. Okay, so I want to leave you with this. What was the most surprising thing you learned about fleas today? Did anything really stand out to you?
For me, it's always their resilience. Those little guys are tough.
They really are, and it just goes to show you, even something so small can have a big impact. But we're smarter than the fleas. We can outsmart them.
Absolutely. We just got to be proactive. Don't wait until you're covered in bites to do something about it.
Exactly. Treat your pets, keep your home clean, and remember those pros are there if you need them.
And don't forget to tell us what surprised you about fleas. Share your thar moments on social media.
We love hearing from you. Well, that's it for this deep dive.
Until next time, stay curious and stay flea-free.
See you on the next one.